Hey guys, so today I'm bringing guys a brand new sports cards video. In today's video, we will be showing you guys 5 sports cards that are absolutely on fire right now. The market is doing very, very well for one certain type of card, and we will get into them. But before we get into that, I do want to say, as you guys know, I am giving away a Luka Doncic Optic PSA 9 that is on the mail to me. So that will be the giveaway for this coming week. If you guys would like to enter, all you have to do is subscribe to this channel, follow me on Instagram at SportsCardInvest, and comment the word done once you have completed those 2 steps. We did once have a winner who did not follow me on Instagram at SportsCardInvest, so we had to pick a second winner. So make sure you do follow all steps, because it would be a bummer to win, but then you didn't follow all steps. So definitely make sure you do those. So once again, subscribe, follow on Instagram, and comment the word done. But before we get into that, I do want to say a little bit about our Sports Card Invest membership Platinum group that has been doing absolutely incredible. Our regular group has been on fire recently too, but our Platinum group has been next level. Overall, we've been doubling our money almost every single week with our picks. We've just been one step ahead of the market. We were buying these up at $2,500 just 2 weeks ago. So our Platinum membership is for more of the higher end folks, and then we also have our regular memberships for people with, say less than $1,000 to spend. But we've absolutely been killing it. We were able to predict the vintage boom right before it boomed. So the first vintage boom happened May of 2020. In April of 2020, our membership group was able to predict the first vintage boom, and then in November, we were able to predict another vintage boom that ended up happening. So we've been able to stay ahead of the market and make a lot of money. So if you guys would like to join, go ahead, click the link down below to sportscardsinvest.com and use code WINTER2020 to get you 15% off. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and hop right into this video. So the first cards we have, and first type of cards we have that I want to talk about is, that second tier. So as you guys know, Kobe, MJ, and LeBron, all of their cards have been doing very, very well recently. Over the past 2 months, Kobe, MJ, and LeBron's cards have been going through the roof. And now currently we're seeing a rebound effect on the second tier of cards. So we got guys like Shaq, even Chris Paul, a lot of these guys who we're going to get into who are one level below Kobe, Shaq, and MJ, such as Magic Johnson was like the next level. His cards have been doing very well. Duncan's cards have been doing very well. But Chris Paul is the most recent who has been doing very, very well. So a lot of people are looking for modern players who are very established. And one of those guys is Chris Paul. One could argue right now, if he retired, he is still, one of a top 5 to top 10 point guard of all time. A top 30 to 50 player of all time. So his cards were very undervalued for very long, and a lot of these top chrome guys from the mid 2000s, to I would say 2010s are doing very, very well right now. This was a $1,000 card in the beginning of the month. 2 weeks later, it's already up to $2,000. So it doubled in a matter of 2 weeks, which is incredible growth. These are only going up as of now. A lot of people are looking at Modern right now and saying, okay, if LeBron is leading Modern, and his cards are at $40,000 for a PSA 10, who is undervalued? Who is overvalued, possibly, right? And Chris Paul at, 120 at the price of LeBron may actually be a good buy. I could definitely buy that. I could understand where people are coming from, when the market turns to guys like Chris Paul. Another guy who's had some incredible growth recently is Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is a 2-time finals MVP. He's definitely was undervalued for very long, and one could argue that Kawhi Leonard's 2012 Prism is quite equivalent in terms of like card level, to LeBron's 2003 Topps Chrome. Prism has a fairly low population report in 2012, which makes these a very good investment, because at the end of the day, if it's less than 1/5 the price of LeBron, there may be some room for it to grow. This is now around a $4,000 card. If we go back just a few, even around a week ago, it was less than $3,000. It's already creeping up at $4,000. It was a $2,000 card last month. So in 1 month, it has nearly doubled in price. Some great growth in the second tier of modern cards. So I guess you could say LeBron is first, and then second tier of modern players, you have Steph Curry, you have Kawhi Leonard, you have Kevin Durant, and another guy I want to talk a little bit about is James Harden. He's in that second tier of players in the league, and his cards have been doing very, very well. So I guess a lot of people have seen where Steph's prices have gone, and Harden's prices from the same year have been doing very, very well. This card was less than $3,000 just a few weeks ago. In fact, it was less than $2,000, end of January, as you can see right here. So in the matter of 3.5 weeks, it has gone from around $2,000 to roughly $4,000 to $4,500. It's hard to tell if this comp is legit, but we can argue that it definitely is around $3,500 to $4,000. So it's more than doubled in a matter of a month, which is some great growth in James Harden. Obviously, the Nets are looking very good right now, to be honest. They've been looking like championship contenders, and that's definitely going to cause, KD, Kyrie, and Harden's prices to rise. We've seen KD and Harden's prices rise. We have yet to see Kyrie's prices rise, so that could be an opportunity. But without further ado, we're going to hop back to 2009 tops. But we got Steph Curry. Steph Curry has had an incredible season thus far. His cards are a very low population report compared to LeBron, and other cards of, even a lot of modern stars such as Luka Doncic. This Topps base is up to nearly $20,000 in a PSA 10, which just blows my mind because I was picking these up at $5,000 not too long ago. That was back in, I would say, October, November time. So a lot of growth in these. This was a $10,000 to $12,000 card just 3.5 weeks ago. It's closing in on $20,000 right now. Steph has had an incredible year. However, the Warriors are not quite championship contenders. So that's interesting because towards the playoff time, what will happen to Steph's cards? It's hard to tell. I personally think they might cool off a little bit as people focus on the playoff players. But nonetheless, Steph has already proved enough to us. He's the greatest shooter of all time. He has a chance. He's one of the very, very few modern players who have a chance to finish their career as a top 10 player of all time. And I think if Steph can get Klay back next season, if they can make a good run and possibly win a championship, Steph could very well become a top 10 player of all time, and that upside is just crazy. So definitely a great buy still, I believe. And then another very modern player who's been doing very well is Donovan Mitchell. I personally believe Donovan Mitchell's cards are still incredibly undervalued. At the end of the day, he is the best player on the #1 team in the league right now in terms of their record. Donovan Mitchell, and the Jazz have just been playing outstanding this season. The Jazz have so many shooters, so many great pieces around them that I think Donovan Mitchell could turn into be, one of the faces of the league in a few years. I definitely believe that to be true. Mitchell reminds me a lot of Dwayne Wade when I watch him play, and Donovan Mitchell has been, on a tear recently. The Jazz have been, #1 seed in the West. I believe they've won like 18 of the last 19 games. So it's going to be very interesting to see where Donovan Mitchell's cards end up at the end of the season when Martin does bounce back, because this was around $475 just 3 days ago. It's already up to $550. I personally see it going higher because a lot of people don't realize that when people are comparing Mitchell's prices to, say, Trae Young and Zion and Ja Morant, Donovan Mitchell's 2017 Prism has a much lower population than Zion's 2019 Prism, or even Trae's 2018 Prism. So the pop report on these is, a fraction of Zion. So I think there's a lot of room for growth in Donovan Mitchell's cards, and I think that will play out over the next few weeks as people catch up on this, as people already are doing. So I certainly believe that's a very, very good buy. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Once again, if you would like to enter into the Luka Doncic giveaway. Go ahead and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at SportsCardInvest, and go ahead and comment the word done. And then also, if you would like to enter, or if you would like to join our membership program, click the link down below to SportsCardsInvest.com. Use code WINTER2020 to get you 15% off. But other than that, I'm out. Peace.